Cast of Bad Boys was revealed a week ago, and something that I noticed that is strangely familiar within the cast is that most of the cast has had some public arrests over the years. So, starting off with Jonathan Wright, our lovable bad boy who is known to thump over the years, Jonathan Wright was arrested on a theft charge. Jonathan was stopped by Dallas PD for a traffic violation and was arrested for an outstanding warrant dating back to November 2020. Legal documents obtained detailed that Jonathan was accused of felony theft for not returning a loaner vehicle from Mile High Exotic Motors in Houston. Jonathan dropped off his leased Rolls Royce at the dealership for scheduled maintenance and was given a Maserati as a loaner vehicle while his car was being worked on. Upon returning to pick up his car, a manager at the establishment let him know that he was behind on his payments and he would need to settle the debt before the car was released to him. Documents state that Jonathan became angry and began causing a disturbance before taking back the key to the loaner vehicle he had returned and drive away. Another manager from the dealership stated that he sent Jonathan a letter demanding the car be returned before he decided to press charges. Knowing Jonathan, I don't think this should be a surprise. We know how Jonathan does, okay? On to Prince from Love and Hip Hop, whose legal name is Christopher Hardy. Don't y'all think he should have went as Prince Hardy since y'all know Ed Hardy, the brand is known for its sweet scents. Anyways, Prince in 2021 was arrested for domestic violence and was seen breaking down in tears during his bond court hearing. Prince
Hardy did appear visibly upset. He was granted $25,000 bond plus house arrest.
was one of the founding cast members of Love and Hip Hop Miami, known as the Prince of the South Beach. His party boy persona was on full display in the hit reality show. According to the arrest report in that case, Hardy's girlfriend planned to drop his shoes off at his apartment. After the woman tossed Hardy his shoes, he allegedly grabbed her, slammed her to the ground, and punched her in the mouth. He allegedly dragged her by the hair and tried to prevent her from leaving his apartment. She eventually escaped and ran to an elevator, according to the arrest report. The woman suffered scratches and bruises. The series of Love and Hip Hop followed his music career and layers of drama surrounding his up and down love life. Since leaving the show, Prince has remained in the headlines, including an alleged throwdown between him and Tory Lanez back in May. Trouble soon continued to follow Prince in 2022. On October 17th, the 32-year-old allegedly beat up his girlfriend and stole $7,000 from her. This is the second arrest for domestic violence in less than 2 years. Hardy was facing charges of battery, domestic violence by strangulation, and attempted robbery by sudden snatching. He was taken into custody at Turner Gulliver Knight Correctional Center. He was proven innocent in that case recently in 2023. So, seems to say he needs to stay away from them girls, okay? On to Rasby. Rasby was arrested in the early morning of May 1st, 2019, in Minneapolis on allegations of domestic violence. TMZ reported that the singer and his girlfriend were involved in an argument that turned physical outside of a Macy's store in Minneapolis. Raz's girlfriend reportedly shared news of the assault with a family member who encouraged her to call the police. The singer was arrested and charged with domestic assault by strangulation. Raz B took to Instagram, put out a statement on Instagram which stated, Raz B was arrested in the early morning of May 1st in Minneapolis on allegations of DV. He is currently held without bond at the Hampton County Jail. The incident comes after a long history of publicly documented trauma for the musician and difficulties coping with its aftermath. Raz B will now perform with B2K at Wednesday's night's Minneapolis show. Raz B takes full responsibility for his action. This incident represents a turning point after years of isolation, suppressed emotions, and unhealthy coping mechanisms in response to childhood trauma. He intends to seek treatment to become a better man and grow beyond the pain of his worst mistakes. At this time, Raz B needs support and privacy as he begins a journey towards greater healing. Raz B apologizes to his family, his fans, and most importantly, his group mates of B2K, who he considers his brothers and never intended to disappoint in this way. Being on tour has helped force deep-rooted issues to resurface that must be addressed, and Raz B is committed to doing so, the work necessary to heal and grow. It's interesting to see how Zeus will handle this, addressing his past issues dealing with the history with Chris Strokes and B2K. On to Carrion Franklin, aka Kirk Franklin's son.
Kirk Franklin's son.
Carrion Franklin, the estranged son of Kirk Franklin and the reality star on the first season of Bad Boys, Los Angeles. According to court documents from Beverly Hills Police, Carrion was arrested around 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday, April 10th. He was allegedly driving a car belonging to a woman who was reported missing and is presumed to be unalived. A gun was also discovered in the automobile, but the 33-year-old insisted that the firearm isn't his and that he had no connection to the woman in question. Larry Reed of Larry Reed Live reported that Carrion was wrongfully detained and was initially stopped by local authorities because of his taillights. However, it appeared that the arrest stemmed from charges filed in Texas, but Carrion feels the charges were piled on after officers claimed he resisted arrest. When speaking to Larry Reed, he mentioned the alleged unaliving victim. Carrion says that he believes that she isn't unalived and says that I don't think that's true because I've met women who sold me the car. He stated, explaining that he owned the car for over a year. Court documents also suggest that the 34-year-old was provided a permanent housing location in the jail since his release. Carrion really hasn't directly addressed the arrests and its happenings. Last but never least, Orlando Brown. The Disney Golden Era was characterized by some of the best TV series to have hit this children's channel, with names like Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire, and Phil of the Future. The 2000s quickly won fame for being the strongest time for Disney Channel. One of the shows that inevitably remained as the epitome of the golden age of Disney was Raven Simone's That's So Raven. I mean, who can forget about that? The first time the public became aware of Brown's legal issues was in 2016 after the actor was arrested on charges of domestic violence, obstruction of justice, and drug possession with the intent to sell. This would mark the first time Brown faced his many strings of legal issues. In March 2016, Brown was finally arrested for his previous charges. However, upon being released, he failed to appear in court again, thus becoming the subject of pursuit by bounty hunters. That same month, Brown was found and caught in the closet of a private homeowner in Las Vegas and promptly brought to court. In June 2016, the actor again was arrested for leaving a local hotel for prostitution and illegal drug use. Brown was caught with methamphetamine and a pipe once again. Brown was caught with methamphetamine. Brown was caught with meth and a pipe once again. Consequently, he was apprehended for the third time that year on charges of drug possession, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting arrest. 2 years later, in 2018, Brown was arrested again in Las Vegas on an outstanding warrant. Only a few months after his altercation with the law, the actor was again caught for felony drug possession. Later that year, Brown was also found to be the root of several public disturbances, including an attempted burglary at a friend's restaurant in Las Vegas, for which he was also arrested, and the actor was even given sporting an unsettling neck tattoo of Simone's face. Over the years, Brown's entered a rehab of total of 2 times, including after an intervention from friends, even made a Dr. Phil appearance for help. On December 2022, Brown was arrested again in Ohio, booked on a misdemeanor domestic violence charge. According to a police report, local authorities were called to a residence following an altercation between Lima-based media entrepreneur Matthew Sanders and the actor. Allegedly, Brown, who had been unhoused for a while, was sent the location to avoid heading to a homeless shelter. Prior to his arrest, Brown allegedly threatened the victim with a hammer and a broken knife blade. Luckily, he was never able to strike the homeowner. I'm curious to see how Zeus will handle his sobriety and also his mental health. So, entertainers, do you guys see a pattern? Do you guys think that Zeus casted most of the cast due to their criminal past, showing that they're considered bad? Let me know what you guys think down below of some of these arrests. Do you guys think that this show may be a healing process for them, or do you guys think that it will just send them down a further path of turmoil? All right, leave your comments down below. We are out, babies.
Ain't no personal thing.